We're less than a month away from training camp, and the Lakers are stepping in with some new faces. They added a few players this offseason, and 3 of them, DeAndre Ayton, Marcus Smart, and Jake LaRavia, are pretty much guaranteed to be in the main rotation. Still, that doesn't mean everything is settled. There are going to be real battles in camp, and some of these fights for minutes could get ugly. The hype around new additions sounds good, but it could also expose weaknesses in the team. We've already talked about some of the likely clashes, like Gabe Vincent going head-to-head with Marcus Smart, or even Maxi Kleber battling Jackson Hayes. These aren't small fights. They're about who's trusted when it actually matters. But one matchup nobody's really mentioning is Jake LaRavia against Jared Vanderbilt. Both are combo forwards, both want minutes, and honestly, one of them might end up on the bench for good. If that happens, don't be shocked if frustration leaks into the locker room or even sparks trade rumors. I don't see the Lakers changing their starting lineup much. DeAndre Ayton will clearly take the spot over Jackson Hayes, and the rest of the starters are locked in. But the bench is a different story, and Jake LaRavia could easily push harder for minutes if Vanderbilt slips up. The Lakers love to act like everything's smooth, but one bad stretch could turn camp into chaos, and the team can't afford more locker room drama after last season's disappointments. I'm not so sure Marcus Smart will actually crack the starting lineup. The Lakers will probably lean on a 5-man unit of Luka Doncic, Austin Reeves, Rui Hachimura, LeBron James, and DeAndre Ayton. That leaves the real battles happening on the bench, where egos and roles are bound to collide. Like I said before, we could see Smart going head-to-head with Gabe Vincent, maybe even both of them getting dragged into a fight for minutes with Dalton Connect. Then there's Maxi Kleber versus Jackson Hayes, and most importantly, Jake LaRavia versus Jared Vanderbilt, the matchup nobody wants to talk about but everyone should. The 2 of them are very different players, yet both offer the kind of wing defense and combo forward skills this roster badly needs. After Hachimura, they're next in line for minutes at that spot, but there's only so much time to go around. That 3-spot or backup forward role when LeBron sits is where the tension explodes. With LeBron still logging 33 to 35 minutes a night, and Hachimura taking another 15 to 20, Vanderbilt and LaRavia are basically fighting for scraps. That kind of pressure can break a locker room, especially if one feels overlooked. The Lakers may think this competition will bring out the best in their players, but history shows it often creates drama. If Vanderbilt doesn't show growth on offense, or if LaRavia proves inconsistent, fans will turn quickly and management might look to make moves. In the end, this isn't just about who plays backup forward, it's about who survives the politics of the rotation, and that could be the real test of this season. The fight here is about who can best fill their role, who JJ Ragoo trusts more, and who will earn the bulk of the playing time in a bigger, more important role for the team. We're going to break down exactly what these 2 need to prove and improve from last season to reach that point. Who can be more consistent? What is Reeves likely expecting from them? And how will their individual roles shape the rotation? Starting with how I currently see them in the lineup and their minute distribution, Jared Vanderbilt could be hurt by the addition of Marcus Smart. Both players aren't strong 3-point shooters, which makes it tricky to have them on the court together, especially alongside Jackson Hayes or DeAndre Ayton, who also struggle from deep. That could limit Vanderbilt's opportunities and hurt his impact. Right now, I have Jake LaRavia projected for slightly more playing time, roughly 18 to 22 minutes per game to start, compared to Vanderbilt, who is around 15 to 18, maybe 15 to 20. It's not a massive difference, but in the Lakers' rotation, every minute counts. If Vanderbilt doesn't adapt or improve his outside shooting, he could see even fewer opportunities, and that could spark tension or force the coaching staff to make tough decisions early in the season. To start, I think JJ Ragoo might go with LaRavia getting more minutes. He's more versatile and fits better in different lineup combinations, unlike Vanderbilt, who is more limited. Vanderbilt really can't share the court with 2 other poor or below average 3-point shooters, and that will likely hurt his minutes. To earn more playing time, he'll need to prove himself, and that comes down mainly to 3-point shooting. If Marcus Smart can suddenly shoot better than his career average of under 34%, that might indirectly help Vanderbilt, but he still has to help himself. Last season, Vanderbilt shot just 28% from 3, and his career mark is only 28.8%. That's far too low for a player in his role. He also has to be more than just a shooter. He needs to become a non-liability on offense in general. Better passing, smarter cuts, improved spacing, and overall basketball IQ will be key. If he fails to do that, LaRavia will continue to get the bulk of minutes, and Vanderbilt's role could shrink even further. Jared Vanderbilt also needs to improve his timing on backdoor cuts, knowing where to be in the offense, and understanding when to move within the system. Unfortunately, he actually regressed in these areas last season instead of improving. Maybe another year in JJ Ragu's offense and the new system could help him, but he has to show progress fast. If he hopes to beat Jake LaRavia for more minutes, it will come down to how well he executes on offense. This isn't just about three-point shooting, though that is important, but about doing all the little things right, knowing where to be, when to move, and contributing consistently. That's the basic expectation for Vanderbilt if he wants to earn more trust from the coaching staff. I don't have a points per game target for him, but I do have a three-point benchmark. He needs to shoot above 30% from deep, and ideally hit around 37% from the corner, which he actually managed last season. However, he needs to maintain or improve that while doing everything else right, or LaRavia will continue to dominate the rotation. Vanderbilt is currently taking very few three-point shots per game, less than 1 overall and under 0.5 from the corner. Ideally, he could maintain his shooting percentage while attempting over 1 per game. That would make him less of a liability on offense and give him a better chance to earn more minutes. But don't get it twisted, he doesn't need to be Jake LaRavia on offense, and LaRavia doesn't need to be Vanderbilt on defense. Both simply need to improve on their biggest weaknesses. LaRavia on consistent defense and Vanderbilt on consistent offense. The player who shows faster and more noticeable improvement will likely get the bulk of playing time. Right now, LaRavia is projected for slightly more minutes than Vanderbilt, though not by a huge margin. Interestingly, Vanderbilt actually has a higher floor in the rotation. Even if he struggles, he's less likely to be completely benched, whereas LaRavia could see his minutes drop quickly if he underperforms. That makes this battle not just about talent, but about who adapts faster to the team's needs. Vanderbilt can always fall back on his defense and excellent rebounding, which gives him a safety. Jake LaRavia, on the other hand, has more pressure on him. He needs to improve both offensively and defensively if he wants to keep or increase his minutes. If he regresses, especially on defense or from three-point range, his role could shrink quickly. For example, if he falls back to shooting around 34% from deep while remaining inconsistent defensively, he might see no more than 15 minutes per game. Last season, he shot a career-high 42.3% from three, but that was the first time he ever shot above 35%. In his first 2 years, he was around 34%, so this isn't a guarantee he can maintain that level. That makes his minutes dependent not just on talent, but on consistent improvement under real pressure. We also have to remember that LaRavia was injured in both of his first seasons and only played about 35 games each year, bouncing in and out of the rotation. If he falls back to that level and can't replicate last season's offense, especially his three-point shooting and off-ball movement, then regression is possible. Defensively, if he can't guard multiple positions effectively, the team might lean more on Jared Vanderbilt. That said, Jake LaRavia clearly has a higher ceiling than Jared Vanderbilt. He could earn 25 to 28 minutes per game, and if he really steps up while Rui Hachimura regresses, he might even sneak into the starting lineup, cutting into Hachimura's role. But don't get it twisted, this would take serious effort and fast improvement. His floor is lower than Vanderbilt's, meaning if he struggles, his minutes could drop quickly. The Lakers will be watching this battle closely from day one, and how both players handle the pressure in the rotation will determine who truly deserves the bigger role on the team. The Lakers are going to be watching both closely. If Jake LaRavia can maintain last season's level while improving on defense, he could reach his high ceiling fairly quickly. For Vanderbilt to steal minutes, he'll need to improve offensively, outperform LaRavia defensively, be more consistent overall, and not lag too far behind offensively. That's the path for both of them, and that's how this battle could play out in about 3 weeks at training camp. This might be the biggest fight to watch off the bench. Sure, there could be battles between Marcus Smart and Gabe Vincent, but for the bulk of meaningful minutes at the combo forward spot, their current weakest position, this is the key one. They need a player who can fill a true two-way role. Someone with real 3 and D ability capable of contributing on both ends. Right now, that's exactly what the Lakers are missing, and whoever can step up could define how deep their rotation really is this season. Whatever you want to call it, that two-way ability is something the Lakers are currently missing. If Jake LaRavia can provide that, the team will likely rely on him a lot. Maybe even as their sixth man off the bench, or potentially down the line taking a starting spot from someone. That's the ceiling for him. Vanderbilt's ceiling, by comparison, is much lower, probably only getting 5 to 8 more minutes than his current 15 to 20, maybe 23 per game. He's less likely to be considered for the starting lineup, though I wouldn't completely rule it out. In my opinion, LaRavia has a higher ceiling but a lower floor, while Vanderbilt has a higher floor but a lower ceiling. That's why this matchup is so interesting. Both need to show improvement and consistency, but in very different ways. LaRavia on defense and overall impact, Vanderbilt mainly on offense. They are two very different players, making direct comparison tricky. Still, how they develop over the next few weeks could define the Lakers' bench strength and potentially shape the rotation for the whole season. Their pathway to more playing time depends on showing improvement compared to the other guy in the rotation. But even beyond skill, both need to stay healthy. We're talking about two players who have had their share of injuries. LaRavia played a career-high 66 games last season, but only 35 games in both the 2023-24 and 2022-23 seasons. He can't fall back to that level, he needs to play at least 50 games. Similarly, Vanderbilt played just 36 games last season and 29 in 2023-24. He needs to get back to roughly 60 to 78 games like he did from 2020 to 2023. If either player struggles with health, the other will naturally take over their minutes. That could allow one of them to dominate the rotation and grab the bigger role off the bench, making this battle as much about durability as talent. First and foremost, both players need to stay healthy. But with all that said, what do you think about a potential training camp battle and a rotation battle between LaRavia and Vanderbilt? What will it come down to? What do you think JJ Ragu will be looking for from them, both in terms of competing against each other and individually? And who do you think will earn the bigger role in the rotation after training camp? Share your thoughts in the comments below. That's pretty much it for this one. If you enjoyed this video, I'd really appreciate it if you dropped a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a video. As always, thanks for watching and have